Welcome back to 360 Sports. We are talking baseball today. I'm joined alongside Chris Reynolds, Ryan Esslinger, and Peyton Waddell. Boys, how are you doing today?
Doing great.
Fantastic.
I'm doing great
as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, baseball is in the full swing of the season now. So we got some special teams, special plays, but most importantly, special players. So let's get into our first segment here. Speaking of special players, Jackson Holliday, the #1 overall prospect in Major League Baseball right now, is making his debut tonight for the Baltimore Orioles. He's playing second, batting ninth, and he's wearing number 7, the same number his dad, Matt Holliday, wore for most of his career. So how do you guys think he'll do in the majors, and what does this mean for the Baltimore Orioles?
I just want to say that was a great lead-in.
Thank you.
that was a perfect lead-in. I mean, this is what Orioles fans have been waiting for. I mean, all those years of being terrible, lowest of the low, just bad.
Yeah.
And now all of these draft picks, all these #1 overall picks have paid off. Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson, Jordan Westburg is even really good. And now they're adding Jackson Holliday to that already high-powered offense. It's going to take a little bit for him to get accustomed to Major League pitching, but I think he'll still do really good. I think he'll still win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, I like this move. I even like it that they're putting him at second because I think we can all agree shortstop is the toughest position to play on the diamond. The only thing that I dislike about Jackson Holliday is he's 1 year older than me, and I'm not in the majors.
I feel really old.
But
me too, Ryan.
There's a lot of these young guys that are coming up making me feel
I know,
old.
like
Yeah.
Jackson
It's not
Churio
just
was
here.
born in
Jackson Churio.
2004.
That's wild.
Mhm.
I feel so
Mhm.
old watching that.
Yeah, but I like this call-up. It's a long-awaited call-up. I personally think he should have been called up opening day, but that didn't happen, and I'm excited to see what he can do in the majors.
Yeah, he hit 323 last year in AAA, which is absurd. He's probably going to be he's the #1 prospect for a reason. And also, it's cool when his dad was really good. It seems like his son at least is like on that same like MVP level, maybe like one day, hopefully. But yeah, no, great, just like a great prospect, great in the field. And second base, as you guys said, should be easier than shortstop. Bring him in the 9th spot. So not a lot of pressure on him, which I think is good. And there's not a lot of pressure with opening day. So they're kind of easing him into it. I think that's the right move because they don't really need him yet, anyways. So the Orioles in a good spot because if there's adding him to what they already have, that's just a way to possibly win the AL East.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great call-up, great move by the Orioles. I agree with Waddell. I think he should have been up opening day, but that wasn't the case. But in Norfolk this year in AAA, he was slashing 342, 490, 605, two home runs, a stolen base. So he was producing at that level. I think it was long overdue for the Orioles.
Yeah, I think that Orioles AAA team also put up like 29 runs
Yeah.
on the White Sox
That whole-
AAA affiliate.
that whole team-
was
It's crazy.
I think like 1 through 7's batting over 300.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that's just
I mean, like,
scary.
it's crazy. I mean,
I don't know.
and
how
they're
to
all
pronounce
young
his
too.
name.
You got to
It's
keep this in mind. Like they're going to be
Heston
good
Kjerstad. I
for
don't
years
know.
to come.
I don't-
Heston Kjerstad, yeah.
Kjerstad.
Mhm.
Didn't he go like 6 for 6 in that game?
I don't know, but
There's something.
I know he's
crazy
good. I know
like
he's
that. He had
another
10
top
RBIs.
prospect.
It's really all I look at.
yeah. And I mean, to fill him in at second base, probably the weakest part of that team right now. I mean, who is starting Jorge Mateo? So
ghost
they're
of
only
Jorge
getting
Mateo.
better. But yeah. Anyways, good luck to Jackson Holliday tonight. But let's move in right into the next segment. There's been a lot of pitcher injuries, unfortunately, to begin the year and going back to last year. Spencer Strider, Framber Valdez, Yuri Perez, just to name a few pitchers who've been hurt this year. So why do you think this is? And does the pitch clock have anything to do with it? Of course, we've seen the Players Union and the MLB kind of get into it in regards to that. So let's hear what you guys have to say.
Well, I mean, pitchers are having to speed up their delivery. I mean, you go and watch a game from 2-3 years ago, and it's almost unbearable to watch because of how long the innings take. The pitch clock was a good idea. It's been working really well, but then again, we've been seeing a lot more pitching injuries. They can't rest as much during their time. Like they get the ball, they can't walk around the mound, like kind of shake out their arm. They just have to get right back set, get the pitch, throwing it again. It doesn't help that they're trying to throw as hard as they can, but I think the pitch clock definitely has something to do with it, but I don't think it's the full problem.
Yeah, the pitch clock, I feel like the pitch clock was the greatest thing that happened to baseball. Now, should they add a few seconds? Maybe. But I found this article by Baseball America. The average fastball in 2007 was 91.9 miles per hour. In 2023, the average fastball is 94.2 miles per hour. I feel like these pitchers are now going out pitching, trying to get more velocity and stuff like that. And that's very taking a toll on their arms. I mean, it's tough for – and this is the average. Now you see like Strider, these pitchers, they can pitch high, like close to 100 miles per hour. And if you keep doing that for 5 innings, 6 innings, it's going to lead to a lot of arm trouble and
Yeah.
more than what people
Look
think.
at Garrett Crochet from the White Sox when he was his rookie 2021 playoffs. He came in against the A's, pumping 102, 103, all that. Tommy John got hurt in that same game. Same with Ben Joyce, who was drafted by the Angels out of Tennessee, I want to say. Again, another flamethrower, young guy, pumping 102, 103, goes down with Tommy John. Like, again, just to go off what Peyton was saying, like, everyone's just trying to throw as hard as they can because velocity is what gets you looked at.
Yeah, I think like a closing pitcher, relief pitcher, when you pitch every like 3 days but 1 inning, maybe you could go out there, throw it 102 and whatever. But when you're these guys throwing 7 innings or more sometimes, they're throwing as hard as possible. And just think about it. If you're exerting yourself fully and now you have less time between times that you do that, odds are you're probably going to get injured by doing that more. I think the pitch clock was needed, but I think they did shorten it even more this year, which I feel like I don't know if that was needed as much. We saw last year, a lot of the older pitchers struggled with the pitch clock. So I feel like now we're starting to see some of the younger guys. I don't really know what to do in that sense because you do want the pitch clock. The last thing I want is to watch a guy shake out his arm and, throw the ball over the first 5 more times, between pitches. But they got to do something if this is the reason. But I think pitchers have to adapt as well. Maybe you don't throw it 102 every time. Maybe you try to, all right, take a few off because I don't know if it was players not able to throw it as fast or maybe they were better at pacing themselves, like Payne was saying, with the slower exit velocity in the past. So I think either pitchers are going to change or baseball's going to have to alter the rules, which I don't think people want.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you guys have said. I think it's personally a bit of a combination of everything. I mean, the pitch clock certainly isn't helping the increased velocity, but at the same time, like these young guys, especially in high school now, there's a lot more specialized pitching. Like there's a lot more like getting good at your craft, throwing a lot more breaking balls, like increased velocity, a lot more like advanced stuff at a younger age, which I think is contributing to this more wear and tear in the arms as you get younger. My uncle's a pitching coach too, and he agrees with that. And he said he's seen it a lot. And then another thing I want to propose is like pitch to contact. I mean, a lot of these guys today are also pitching for strikeouts, and that's only going to hurt your arm, especially with the increased velocity, trying to throw for strikeouts, the pitch clock. If like you have a field of 8 defenders who play at an elite level, I know maybe not for their caliber, but you got to that point because you were doing something right on that side of the ball as well as hitting. So pitch to them and make them get the outs as well.
Well, the thing with pitching to contact, I'm sorry. If I'm a pitcher and I'm going against Jordan, Aaron Judge, Seager, I'm not pitching for them to hit the ball.
Throw it down and away. Get them to
It
roll
doesn't.
it over.
They're professional
Yeah,
I
hitters.
know,
They
but
can-
you're a
take that
professional
out.
pitcher too.
It's
I mean,
honestly
yeah,
a home run or a strikeout nowadays. So it's like
Yeah.
if they make contact, it's probably in the stands. That's the issue with like how
Yeah.
players are adapted nowadays.
100%.
But anyways,
Gina Sullivan said, "Great show so far."
Thank you. That's my mom, by the way.
Oh, yeah, Miss Reynolds, yeah.
shout out Gina Sullivan. Anyways, we're gonna go to a bit of a alternate board segment here, where we're gonna talk about some prospects. Of course, with Jackson Holiday being called up, there are a bunch of other guys in the minor leagues who are still waiting for that call up. So we're gonna go around. We're gonna start with Reynolds, go to Peyton, and then Ryan. And I want you guys to go up to the board or just stay here, I guess, today, and tell me a top prospect that should be called up sooner rather than later.
All right, so let's start with the classic story of what's been in my life. The Mets trade a top prospect for some player that lasts, I don't know, a few months on the team. So Javier Baez is on the team for half a season, and then they trade Pete Crow Armstrong away. Look at him. Supposed to be one of the best prospects in baseball. Great speed, great fielding, and the Mets traded for half a season of Javier Baez, where he ended up booing the fans and giving the fans a thumbs down. He did not leave on great terms. And for him, we gave up our top prospect, who's now going to be the best prospect on the Cubs. So naturally, I think he's going to be amazing because that's how these things generally work out. Speed and fielding is what he's known for, but he still has good contact. He came up last year a little too aggressive at the plate, but he only had 14 at-bats. He's going to be really good. And just knowing how this thing goes, knowing my luck, he'll probably be the face of the MLB, or at least one of the best defensive center fielders for years to come. And yeah, I hope that's not the case, but for him, he was really good. And in the minors, if he gets a chance, I think he'll be pretty good on a Cubs team that's building something.
And I mean, Cubs are kind of looking for outfielders. Ian Happ's not great defensively in the outfield. They can move Cody Bellinger to first to allow Pete Crow Armstrong to become that center fielder that they want him to be. Obviously, Seiya Suzuki's in right. Could have gone to the playoffs last year if he had caught a fly ball. I love bringing that up, by the way. It's my favorite thing to talk about. But again, Pete Crow Armstrong is really good. As much as I don't like to say
As-
because I don't like the Cubs, but he is really good. He's
As a
gonna
Pirates fan, I'm not looking forward to
Yeah.
when he gets called up. He's gonna probably tear through that division,
be torch the
especially-
Pirates
especially
16 games
towards
a
the
year.
Pirates and Bailey Falter.
I just like a stupid trade where it's like a rental for a season that the Mets even make the playoffs in. That's the type of guy
Yeah.
they're paying out.
Oh yeah.
I thought Kalinick, he's on the Braves right now. He is called up right now, so I didn't pick him, but he's supposed to be really good, but he struggled a little bit. But
Oh, Jared Kelnick?
yeah,
Oh yeah, he was on the Mariners for,
He
Yeah,
was
the-
up. He's
for a while.
probably one of the biggest draft busts and
I-
prospect
I wouldn't
busts.
say that because he's on
And,
the
like,
Braves. The
Well,
Braves
on the
are going
Braves
to turn
right now.
into.
But with
I mean,
the
I think
Mariners,
Andrew Vaughn
he
was
hasn't.
worse.
Yeah, but
He was
Andrew
supposed to
Vaughn
be
was
the
pretty
top guy.
bad.
He was
was
supposed to be
supposed to.
really good.
All right, let's move on here to Peyton.
So,
Is that you?
When I'm on the show, I got a homer a bit. My top prospect that I think should be called up is within the Yankee organization. There he is, Spencer Jones.
Mm.
The thing that sucks about the Yankees is they have so much outfield talent, but like this guy, all spring training. I don't know. I don't think this is the clip, but it might happen sooner. He hit a 473-foot home run in spring training. This guy is an absolute unit. He's 6'7". He's like basically the left-handed version of Aaron Judge. The thing that sucks though with the Yankees organization is they have a lot of outfielders.
that must be terrible, Payne.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Like,
They're
So bad.
I thought you were
I
gonna
feel
talk.
so bad for the New York Yankees.
I thought
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna bring up Jason Dominguez.
Well, Dominguez, I was thinking about that, but he played last year. Like he hit a
did.
home run, I think his first game. This like Spencer Jones, I hope he can stay as a Yankee, but this guy's a stud, and I hope like he can just shine somewhere. It doesn't
Well,
matter where, but
They've got two of their outfilders in their contract for like 10 years. Or
yeah,
something
they
like
have.
that.
Like, if you consider Stanton an outfielder, which I don't know, he's just a DH. But
Yeah.
Soto, I feel like they're going to
Well,
extend
they're gonna.
him,
Yeah, I was about to say.
Mhm,
I
yeah.
think they'd re-sign him if they had the
Judge.
money. But
and then
yeah,
when Dominguez gets back,
I mean, you could definitely get like a very decent starting pitcher for him,
Mhm.
with all the injuries this season. And yeah, but no, that's a great prospect.
I think Spencer
pick.
Jones,
Mhm.
whenever he does get called up, which should be this year, even if he just plays DH, like even they have Verdugo right
Mhm.
now, I think
Yeah.
he'll be really good.
he's
Yeah.
a unit too.
All right. And the second to last selection
Okay.
here goes to Ryan.
Again, another homer pick. I'm going with Colson Montgomery, shortstop, Chicago White Sox. He's been in the league not in the league, but he played Cactus League in spring training. Went 3 for 20. Yeah, it's not the greatest. He's still getting adjusted to it. But even in AAA, I think this is his first year in AAA, but throughout the minors, he's batting 280, which again isn't great, but it's around average to where you want prospects hitting. He's hit 40 triples in 4 seasons.
That's
The
good.
kid can run. And with Tim Anderson walking out on the White Sox, and again, I don't blame him. He's in a worse situation now because they're worse than the White Sox, but whatever. It's paving the way for Colson Montgomery to become the starting shortstop for the Chicago White Sox. And right now they have Brian Shoemake. I don't even know who that is, starting at shortstop. That's just how bad the White Sox are. They need Colson Montgomery. Regardless, just call him up for 1 year or for this year because you know you're not making the playoffs. You know you're not making a push. So he can get accustomed to the major league hitting, the major league level, playing defense, playing shortstop, all that, just so he can get accustomed. And then next year, 2025, he'll really thrive.
Yeah,
Yeah. He's
sorry
going
about-
to be a great
He's
player.
going to be amazing.
He's gonna
I
be
really,
amazing.
really like his MLB The Show card.
Yes.
So I support him.
I love it. I love that
Yeah,
card.
that's
What is it,
one-
89 overall?
Yeah.
Been on my team since day one.
That's one great thing, I guess, for the White Sox. I'm sorry, this season hasn't been the greatest, and then it just got worse a few days ago when Robert went down.
I'll talk about
Where-
that
They
later.
Yeah.
have like a solid core. They just need to put it together.
Yeah.
I
Big
mean,
three.
big three. Robert.
Fraudulent big
Jimenez.
three.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they've played like the total 150
Yeah, I
games
know.
together
It's
over
just-
the
that's
past.
wild.
Can
like,
they stay
4
healthy?
years.
And can
No,
they
they
all
can't.
produce at the same time? It's just been
Uh.
unfortunate. But anyways, I'm going to go here and I'm going to continue the trend of homer picks. I'm a Pirates fan, and this is the top prospect in the league who hasn't been called up yet, and that is Paul Skeens, the starting pitcher. Listen, when Bailey Falter is your 5th guy in the rotation, you got to call someone up like Paul Skeens. He's the number 3 prospect in all of baseball. He's off to a terrific start in AAA. He's pitched 6 scoreless innings when he's been out there. The Pirates, they're playing well right now, but if they want to compete down the road, they need to bring up a guy like Paul Skeens. Like I said, Bailey Falter, I give him credit. He had a great outing last time up, but he cannot be a team's 5th option, especially when you're 9-3 or whatever the Pirates are right now. The pitching's been pretty good. It's been improving as the season goes along. Mitch Keller had a good outing the other day. Martin Perez was lights out yesterday, even though they lost. But bringing up a guy like Paul Skeens would just add another level to this rotation. And I think the Pirates desperately need that if they want to continue playing well.
I don't know why you keep calling him Paul Skeens. He's just Livy Dunn's boyfriend
Livy
at
Dunn's
this
boyfriend?
point.
No, he's,
Like, no, Paul Skeens is going to be really good.
he's
He
going to be.
is scary. Again, another card I face in MLB The Show all the time. He's very scary. I don't want to face him in real life. I don't know how these people do it. But
Yeah.
he's going to be really
As a
good.
Pirates fan, I just hope that the situation doesn't turn into what Garrett Cole was for the Pirates.
Well, I
And
hope
then
Garrett
the
Cole
trade.
says Garrett Cole
Yeah.
was like the last great
He was
pitcher
like the
guys
last
had.
great pitcher, and then maybe
Well, wasn't
Jameson
Mitch Keller
Tyne.
supposed to be good?
Mitch Keller was supposed to be all right, but I think like the last one outside of Garrett Cole was like Jameson Tyone. And I mean,
I
look,
think he
both of-
debuted against the Mets.
Didn't
yeah.
you guys also have Chris Archer?
well, we
Or
traded for
traded
Chris
for him,
Archer.
yep.
We traded Tyler Glasnow and Austin Meadows for
Oh,
Chris
yeah, you
Archer.
guys didn't.
Mhm.
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
I don't think you
heard
That
won
was
the trade.
probably one of the worst trades in the recent MLB history.
Sox have
It
way
was-
more. Sox have
I
way
hope
more.
I don't know. That Chris Archer trade was.
We traded
horrendous.
I hope
They
the-
traded Tatis and Marcus Semien.
I hope
Yeah.
the Paul Skeens situation does end up like the Garrett Cole situation because
Oh,
where's Garrett
wow.
Cole on?
I
No, I'm
wonder.
just kidding. But realistically, every highlight I see about Paul Skeens, it's like 3 straight pitches, 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Realistically, though, do you think he can do that over a span of 5 or 6 innings, which is what you want your starter to do?
I think eventually they can build him up to that. Like, I'm not saying he's going to come up and be like this lights out pitcher, like Cy Young contender, but bring him up this year, have him pitch maybe like 4 or 5 innings a game or something. The bullpen's been pretty good. So if you just allow him to get accustomed to MLB pitching, like the sky's the limit for this guy in the future.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, let's move on. I know we had like some fun talking about this before the show. This or that. So there's going to be a couple of MLB like this or that. You got to choose one or the other. They're going to come up on the board, and you're going to have to give who you would choose in this scenario. So let's see the first one here. And the first one is: would you rather have Gunnar Henderson or Corbin Carroll for the rest of their careers? This one we were kind of debating back and forth. Like, this is so tough.
This is
So tough.
so hard to just even think about because both of them are really good. They're both on playoff teams. Obviously, the Diamondbacks made it a little bit further because of their pitching. I don't think Corbin Carroll was the reason they made it a little bit further. Obviously, he's a part of that team that made it far, but regardless, I think I'd rather have Gunnar Henderson. Gunnar Henderson, he arguably had a little bit worse season than Corbin Carroll. Corbin Carroll did steal a lot more bags than him. But Gunnar Henderson, his speed is there. He's very sound defensively. He can hit for power. He can hit for contact. He can swipe bags. They're both very, very similar. But the fact that they play different positions, again, center field is a very hard position. Shortstop, like we were talking about earlier, most important position on the diamond. I think Gunnar Henderson, with his pop, I think he can hit a lot harder than Corbin Carroll. But then again, just going on preference, I think I would have Gunnar Henderson for the rest of their career.
Whenever I saw this question on the script, I'm like, Henderson, no doubt. And then I start looking into the stats, and I'm like, these stats are actually pretty identical. Like, Henderson has 2 more at bats. They have this similar like ribbies, home runs, all that stuff. Obviously, Carroll has more stolen bases, but I'm still gonna have to go with Henderson. I mean, for me personally, he just passes the eye test, which I feel like a lot of people don't take that into account. I think his pop's better. Like, the speed is obviously there. He plays shortstop, and I think Henderson means more to his team because, as you said, the pitching for the Diamondbacks is really great. I think Henderson means a bit more to his team than Carroll does to his team, so I'm gonna have to go with Henderson.
I disagree. I think Corbin Carroll should be the guy, and I think Gunnar Henderson, I think, is not as important because the Orioles have so many other options around him. Whereas if you think of the Diamondbacks, their offense kind of revolves around Corbin Carroll. He makes plays with his speed. Gunnar Henderson is very good, but Corbin Carroll gets on base, steals bases, gets around. Can I help you, Ryan? What's that face for?
Well, I mean, you're acting like Corbin Carroll is the only player on the
There's-
Diamondbacks offense.
There's other guys, but he's leading usually in the lineup, gets on base, steals bases, and then there's guys behind him that could drive him home. But he's kind of like when last year's team that made it, he was kind of the spark plug of the
Like
offense.
their pulse. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah, you're not wrong. Like, obviously, they have Christian Walker, Lourdes Gurriel Jr.,
Ketel
Ketel
Marte.
Marte. I mean, they're starting catcher Gabriel Moreno right now, I think.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I think so.
But regardless, like, again, I know the point you're making.
What
and
guy
it's
in
a
that
good
lineup
point.
puts the most fear in you? Christian Walker might be the tower
Ketel
guy.
Marte.
Ketel Marte, he gets multi-hit games, like
Ketel
it's nobody's
Marte,
business.
I
It's
think
actually
you tend to
crazy.
forget he is the longest active postseason hitting streak.
That's great when you're in the postseason. And he's a great hitter. I think Ketel Marte is great, but Corbin Carroll, I think, was that guy on offense for them. And I think their offense, they needed him to do it. Where the Orioles, they have so many options on that team. And Gunnar Henderson was obviously great, but I mean, Corbin Carroll he won Rookie of the Year. He was an All-Star. He was that guy
Gunnar
for a
Henderson
reason.
also won Rookie of the Year.
Oh no, but I'm saying he was an All-Star, and then Gunnar Henderson wasn't. But then Gunnar Henderson came along too. Just I prefer Corbin Carroll. I like guys with speed, and then also too, like I like center fielders, and I think shortstop support. But a lot of these outfielders that can like cover the range that he does, that's extremely important as well.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to agree with you, Reynolds. I'm a big Corbin Carroll guy. Even going into last year, he was one of my favorite players in the league last season. And I mean, Gunnar Henderson, no shade to him. He's tremendous, and he would be a great piece to have for the future. But I look at Corbin Carroll. I mean, he was 5th in the MVP voting last year in the National League. He had 50 stolen bases, which is just absolutely absurd for what is his second season in the league. Gunnar Henderson, again, just a great player. But personally, for me, I'm a big Corbin Carroll guy.
So what are the Diamondbacks going to do when Drew Jones gets called up?
They're just going to move him to a different
I
outfield.
mean, Corbin
position,
Carroll.
DH.
Doesn't
I mean,
he
Corbin,
play?
he's a center fielder, so
Okay.
they can
But I mean,
very versatile
Very.
in the outfield. But anyways, let's move right along here to a bit of a division prediction. Who's going to win the American League East, the Orioles or the Yankees?
I don't think I have to state my opinion too much because I am a Yankees fan. But I would tell you what, I wouldn't be as confident as I am if we wouldn't have swept the Astros opening day. I feel like sweeping the Astros the opening series is very huge for this team. But the Orioles are really good. Corbin Burns kind of solidified that rotation. I'm still gonna have to go with the Yankees, of course.
I mean, the Yankees. I always feel like the Yankees always start out good. Like they always go on these pretty good streaks. They're like, oh, are they going to be really good like later on in the season? I don't believe that. I think the Orioles are going to win the AL East, but I don't think it's going to be easy. Obviously, they're going to have to play the Yankees a lot. It's just going to come down to who's going to play better in those games, like when it matters most.
Can't forget the Red Sox are also playing pretty well. So
Sox are
The
very
Red
hot.
Sox.
I know, but at the
Sorry,
same
Gabby,
time,
but
right
the Red
now
Sox are kind of.
The Rays and Blue Jays are also there. I mean,
The Blue Jays are kind of just there.
They're just there.
All those teams are
They're
deep, but I think the Orioles are the deepest team in that division. That's why I
Absolutely.
think it's the most important thing, and they're young too. So the Yankees, I think, are the best 1-2 punch, maybe in baseball, or at least if it's not one, it's like 2 or 3 with Judge and Soto. Garrett Cole's injured right now. I think they had a great start. I just think that's the level of success they had is not as achievable for them long term. Whereas the Orioles, we saw what they did last year. I think they've only gotten better from last season. Whereas the Yankees, they have older players, more injury prone, more risk there, and I just think the Orioles are deeper all around. I think that's most important when it comes to baseball, is the depth.
Yeah, I'm agree with Waddell here. I think the Yankees can hold on and win the division. Of course, they have a bunch of superstars all around, and the pitching may be hurt right now, but the offense isn't. So if that offense can stay healthy, I think that the Yankees can win this division. But anyways, let's move on here. We got a couple of logos here. We got 2 of them. The Mets logo or the Blue Jays logo? Which one do you prefer?
All right, I'm starting
Yep.
this one. Okay. The Blue Jays logo, it's fine. It's a Blue Jay and then the leaf for Canada. Okay, we get it's a Blue Jay. It's in Toronto. That's fine. The Mets logo, that logo specifically, it is the shape of a baseball with the seams, with the New York City skyline and the bridge in front of it. I think that's one of the best logos in baseball. The other one with the NY looks too much like the Yankees. I get that, but that specific logo, it looks clean, the city skyline, and it's a baseball. The Blue Jays one is very simple, but it's a Blue Jay in a leaf. Like, you know what I mean? Just, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm
Jay
trying
in
to
a
take you
league.
seriously. The Blue Jay, have the Mets ever changed their logo? They've had the NY and then that for how many years?
I don't know, since they came into existence.
The Blue Jays have had 8 or 9 different logos since they came into the league, and all of them are way better than that.
All of them are.
All of
What's
them.
wrong with that one?
Nothing personally, but putting it up against the Blue Jays have just had better logos over time.
It's a Blue Jay, and
Yes.
their logo's a Blue Jay. Like, what is like? That's
I
so
understand
basic.
that city skyline, whatever, Mets, whatever, baseball, whatever, yeah. But
That's
personally,
creative. It's called creativity.
you know what's
Ryan.
creative? What the heck is a Met?
That's not. That's we're saying
What
the
is a
logo.
Met?
What it looks
Chris
like.
Reynolds,
A
answer to this. What
metropolitan,
is a Met?
someone like in the metropolitan area.
I don't know if I believe that.
Okay,
But,
well that's your fault. I don't have to tell you. But you know what Blue Jay is? It's a blue bird. We see it right
Yeah,
there.
it is. Yeah, Bluebird right there.
Yeah.
I'm
Canada
gonna.
leaf.
This is kind of tough because I don't really like both teams. but I'm gonna have to go with the Mets because
Thank
I think
you,
I
Peyton.
hate the Blue Jays more than I like the Mets. Both these logos are amazing, but I just think, I don't know. I think the Mets are a bit cleaner.
I think there's so much creativity that goes in that a Blue Jay, Ryan. It's a Blue Jay.
I think the Blue Jays have been. If you go back to like when their first logo, they got the baseball around.
They don't
it
even
saying
know their own
Toronto
logo.
Blue Jays.
That's why they have to change it because it's not good.
It's just been a Blue Jay
Yeah.
for the. Okay.
I'm gonna have to go with the Blue Jays here.
Thank you, Brandon.
I've always considered them like my American League team because I have family up from Buffalo. That's like kind of the Buffalo team. The minor league team is there, so Blue Jays for sure. But anyways, we're gonna get into some scary teams, either for good or for worse. So you guys have each picked some teams that are playing great right now, some teams that are playing really bad right now. We're just going to go around and say who they are really quickly. So I think we start with Reynolds again. Let's get into that.
This team, pretty surprising about how scary good that they've been so far. We got the Detroit Tigers, who are 7-4, start off 5-0, cooled down a little bit, but their pitching has been a lot better than I've expected. The sixth fewest runs allowed per game as on the team side of it. Their offense could be better. So their offense has a lot of room to improve, and yet they're still 7-4. And they're leading that division right now. I think they could possibly win it. I don't know, but their pitching has been really solid and not a lot expected out of them. Now going to another team, but they're scary in a bad way. We got to talk about the Houston Astros, who want to be champions once again, but so far they're 4-8. They got swept in a 4-game series against the Yankees. The Yankees are a good team, but if you're trying to win and be that World Series contender, you can't lose to these great teams. You can't get swept by those great teams. They've been really inconsistent. Their offense has been up and down. And they're getting a lot of home runs, but they're not getting people on base. Their average as a team is down. They need to play more small ball. They have the power in the bats, just get more consistency, and then maybe they could, win that division because that division's tough, and these games are crucial. When you look at the end of the season, you lose by 1 or 2 games in the standings. These are games that matter, so they got to turn them around quickly.
All right, and let's go to Peyton's teams here.
Yep. If I haven't mentioned already, I am a Yankees fan. The reason why this team's scary is 2 words. Juan Soto. This guy is amazing. He's completely changed the whole team by his approach. Everybody is working the count, and this whole team has just changed because of him. And my scary bad team, I'm sorry, Reynolds, you're not going to like this one. I don't think I have a scary, but no, I'm just kidding. The scary bad team is the Mets. I'm sorry, but they're 4-8. There they are. They're 4-8. They have one of the highest payrolls in the league. I like Lindor as a player. He's been struggling. I think I heard this right the other day. He got his second hit as a left-handed batter this year. We're 12 games into the season. That's not
He started
great.
slow.
Yeah, after you paid him the money I wish I had, which I do not have that much money. But that's why I think the Mets are also a scary bad team right now.
They're getting better, okay? We're nurturing them
They're
along.
getting there.
All right, and let's go to Ryan's team.
So my scary good team is, as much as I hate to say it, the Chicago Cubs. You can't really look past it. They're really good on offense right now. They're really good on defense. Wrigley is one of the most electric places in the world right now. And their starting pitcher help is bolstered by Shota Imanaga. That kid can shove. He is really good. He pitched he has 10 scoreless innings right now in the major leagues. He's doing really well, and the bullpen is looking really good. But my scary bad team, unfortunately, I am a White Sox fan, and it is the White Sox. They're not even just scary bad. They're horrifically bad. They're dumpster fire bad. They're Iowa football bad. The pitching besides Garrett Crochet is bad. The offense is terrible. The big 3, Luis Robert, Yohan Moncada, Eloy Jimenez, all out. Who is Brian Shoemake? Why is he starting at shortstop? We have Paul DeYoung, who is 32 years old, as the backup to him. Naperville Nicky Lopez, who is from Naperville, Illinois, is playing second base. Andrew Vaughn, bust. He's horrible. Eloy Jimenez said that he wants to play at least 150 games with Yohan Moncada, Luis Robert, and himself. And they're all injured. They're all in the IL. Yohan Moncada is missing 3 to 6 months. And it's just horrible to watch. It pains me to watch the White Sox right now because they are just so bad.
Yeah, rough start for the White Sox, of course. But my surprise team for the good, I know they played a couple of the A's and stuff, but it's the Cleveland Guardians. For all the pitching injuries they've had this season, that offense has stepped up. Jose Ramirez, Stephen Kwan, Josh Naylor, Andres Jimenez, all great. And for my disappointing team, of course, it's the worst team in baseball right now. It's the Miami Marlins. I mean, that's just an awful start. Too many injuries. The offense isn't producing at all. Luis Ariz is batting 234 after winning the batting title last year. And then back with the starting pitching right now, there's way too many lefties in that rotation. AJ Puck, it was a closer last year, is in the rotation right now. I don't know what's happening down in Miami, but it certainly is not good.
Yeah, they are pretty
They need to get out of there.
especially Luis Ariz. He was batting close to 400.
I
last
remember
year.
heckling Luis Ariz at a White Sox game when he was on the Twins. So
Yeah.
that's why I still stands.
Yeah. No, very rough start for the Miami Marlins. But anyways, that's going to wrap up our show today. We got a great Frenzy show tomorrow with these wonderful hosts and analysts. And we want to thank you for watching, and we will see you tomorrow.